I've said it before and I'll say it again. I'm just not the biggest fan of shotguns. There's no denying that they're devastatingly effective, fill roles and niches that other systems can't, and, well, they just tickle that primal need to create chaos. But they're also slow to reload, offer a helping and a half of recoil, and you can't really establish a base of fire with a shotgun. Genesis Arms is now trying to make some of those statements untrue. And the Gen-12 is a big, bold statement to that effect. The Gen-12 is built around AR architecture, and if you've got any time on an AR, you're going to settle in pretty quickly with it. The departure really comes at detonation when you're sending buckshot downrange as fast as you can. And then when the bolt locks to the rear, you insert a fresh mag, hit the bolt release, and get right back at it, grinning from ear to ear. Now, the Gen-12 is far from the first AR-based shotgun out there, most of which are of Turkish origin and questionable value. The Gen-12 dismisses all those questions. For the majority of my life, the usefulness of shotguns has been limited to hunting birds and deconstructing doors. The Gen-12 is particularly adept at the latter. Now, when I was doing ballistic breaching, we were using Mossberg 590s, and they worked quite well for it, but they were a little unwieldy. I want to say that we had the 18.5-inch barrel flavor, but I could be misremembering that too. The Gen-12 with its collapsible stock and short barrel is far more portable and coming in at about the same weight. There is one aspect of the contemporary battlefield that makes shotguns more feasible and maybe even necessary. I am, of course, talking about drones. While I won't go as far as to say that they have changed the face of the modern battlefield, I'm not that kind of analyst. They certainly are an important facet to consider with the tactical analysis. And the Gen-12 is well placed to deal with these problems with its fast semi-auto fire. Now, I will say that I didn't get to test this role because, well, the FAA starts asking some very hard questions when drones start getting shot out of the sky. And, well, getting a lawyer to answer those questions is not cheap, nor is the Gen-12. This isn't what I would call an accessible shotgun. Not everybody and their dog is going to have one of these. I ran field and defensive loads through the Gen-12 and everything ran just fine with one notable exception. That being the normal whitetail double-aught shotgun ammo. Because of the roll crimp they have on it, it's just ever so slightly longer than a 2 3/4 inch shell, closer to about a 3-inch shell, and it would hang up on those loads every once in a while. But with everything else, it chewed right through them. It's really easy to go through about 75 rounds with this, at a cost. While watching this footage, I'm sure you'll notice that most of it was filmed with my 5-star wool poncho on. Not because it was cold, but because, well, with defensive loads, this is not exactly comfortable.
However, quite painful, I'm afraid.
With field loads, it's not going to beat you up that much, but once you start running some defensive loads through it, the small footprint of the stock makes buck and slug wear on you. If I had to run a 400 round class with this, I'd be mainlining ibuprofen. And while the stock is really convenient for storage, it doesn't really offer a good cheek weld. And the squared off portion here will definitely wake you up and remind you to get your stuff together while you're shooting it. This Gen-12 comes with a Ventum 12K suppressor from HuxWrx. Oh, I'm staying silent because this thing absolutely does not. No, it's no secret that I have a lot of issues with HuxWrx, but this is a special flavor of does absolutely nothing, even for HuxWrx. Now, if I was in a narrow hallway or a small courtyard, I'm sure it would help moderate the blast a little bit, but don't go hoping for the world from it and shoot it without ear pro. On the plus side, it does have a breaching cap on there, so it makes it easier to index your breaches, and this also makes a pretty excellent impromptu impact tool. Maintenance on the Gen-12 is nightmarish. I'm generally the first one to make excuses for engineers who are trying to solve complex problems, but taking this thing down is devilish. First off, if you're not careful when you shotgun it open, that spring is going to come out of there with the intent of achieving orbit. Next, the bolt handle that has to be removed for full takedown has to be removed with a hex head, and it's got red Loctite on it from the factory. Then the manual suggests using more red Loctite on it when you reinstall it. Now, luckily the body is generous enough that you can get in there and do the lion's share of cleaning with a copious amount of Q-tips and cursing. I'll grant that there needs to be a lot of compromises made to get a package that's this small and effective, but I really do wish there were a few more elegant design solutions to some of the problems. I'm genuinely fearing cleaning this thing tonight. The Gen-12 drips cool in such great quantities that it could be the national reserve of the stuff. It's John Wick's shotgun. It's buckshot as fast as you can pull the trigger. If I was in a drone-infested war zone, I'd feel a lot more comfortable if one or two of my team members had this. There are quite a few compromises that go into making a package that's as small and effective as this, but Genesis Arms is really onto something. All the effort that went into this should be apparent to us all. It's not the shotgun that all of us are going to have, but it's one that all of us should appreciate. Anyway, if you stuck around this long, I just want to say thank you. Leaving a like and a comment helps fight back the algorithm, and make sure you subscribe because I've got a lot more coming your way.